Cihangir Kocak. He's business strategist and AI advisor at HP. He's successfully guided numerous organizations through the challenges of digital transformation and strategic business development. With a presentation entitled Own Your AI, Own Your Future, please give a very warm welcome to Cihangir.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here today and to listen to what I have to say. AI is already creating value for a long while, but since we have generative AI, it's going much faster. And it created so much value and it creates so much opportunities that we really have to have a look to it, what it can mean for us. If you are a marketeer, for example, you need to brainstorm new campaigns. Now you can ask a generative AI model for these ideas, and it can bring you up to new ideas, and it can speed up your process and your creativity. If you're a product designer, you can feed the large language model your previous designs, and with your customer feedback, and it will come up with new designs that you didn't have thought of. And you can iterate on this design, make it better, and create something new. And if you look to the field of AI, we see that everything is going so much faster above our imaginations, because now you can create AI agents, which can be AI employees. It can do multiple complex tasks to perform what you want. So if you want to build an app, you can create an AI agent that is a full-stack developer or a copywriter. You can create a team of AI agents that can do multiple tasks, reason, and create whatever you want. And this is just the starting, and it's going to get better and faster in a very small amount of time. So if you look to some researchers, we see that they expect 85 million of jobs becoming obsolete in the next 5 years. But it's going to create also 97 million jobs. And a lot of these jobs will be done by people who enhance their capabilities with AI. And PwC tells us that they expect 15.7 trillion extra money in our global economies. So as you can imagine, I speak with a lot of people from different levels, AI engineers to executives, and I see different things. There are people who are saying, it's not really happening in my industry, I can wait, I want to see what's going to be happening. Other people are really excited, they jumped on it and they start building. And also a lot of management level says to their employees, we have to do AI. Look into your work, do something with AI. And a lot of people are like, okay, but what I have to do? And if you think you can wait and see around, this is an example I saw on LinkedIn, Lemonade Insurance. So AI already builds 98% of their policies, and it takes 98% of all claims, and it handles 50% by its own in 2 seconds per claim. And in every industry, wherever there is data, you can utilize AI. And in every industry, someone is already doing that. So if you think you can wait, then I think you will be disappointed, because you will have to try to catch up those companies who already started today. But can you really catch up? Because those companies will not stop and wait for you to catch up. They will develop further. They will be much further than you. So there is a danger in waiting. So that's why I think we have to act now. We have to start now to be in time, because we are at the forefront of this, especially with the new technologies, and it's going really fast. Now is the time to ride this wave. So the next question is, where do we start? What AI project shall I then do? Well, to do that, you have to actually look into your business. Like, what is your business goals? Where are you moving to? And what are your processes? And what are the bottlenecks in these processes? When you know your business, then you can ask, how can AI help me? And to be successful, you need executive or management level also, to support you. Because if they don't, if there is not a top-down request, it gets harder. And you also have to look into your business model. You might be really successful today, but in the near future with AI, will your business model still work? Or look into your data. Does it have value for AI and for the future? Also, importantly, everyone has an IT infrastructure. We use the cloud sometimes. We have our own IT servers in our companies. But are they also ready for AI itself? Because you can imagine if you're going to do, for example, computer vision, you will need a lot of GPU power. Will it be able to handle it? So we have to think about this. And the most important thing, AI is a tool that helps us. We don't do IT projects because a lot of people still see it as an IT project, but it is a business project. You look to your business and you utilize AI to gain the value you are looking for. And as I said, a lot of companies have a big focus on the IT part of things, but the company culture is even more important, at least equally important. You have to imagine that people are experts in what they do. So they might think, is this computer going to know it better than me? I do it already for 20 years. Or if AI is going to do this, what is it for me that I have left to work on? So leadership is important, and they have to take these fears away. They can offer training, opportunities, but most importantly, clarity. What does it mean for these people? So if AI takes certain jobs, how their job is going to look like. And like that, you can ease people and bring it on, the focus on AI. But we have to be very careful with the de-skilling problem. Before we had, me personally, I knew every phone number from my heart before I had a mobile phone. Now I only know my own number. So when we concentrate fully on AI and follow it blindly, we will lose some important skill, like creativity. We have to be critical. We have to ask AI to help us, to enhance us, but not to guide us through our lives. We have to stay critical and thinking out of the box, because that's what AI cannot do. And that will make us valuable also in the future as an employee. Because what AI can really good do, it can read 1,000 pages, find the hidden patterns. We cannot compete with that. But we can, when there's a problem, think out of the box, be creative, and come with solutions. So the next question is, where is my AI going to live? And to make a decision, we have to look to different things. First of all, we really have to look to the cloud. We all know that it's easy, scalable, it's fast, it's accessible, it's a one-stop shop. There are a lot of third parties that can help you. You can do actually a lot of things in the cloud. So the advantages are clear. But what is less clear, and what we have to think about, are these things what you see behind me, and I will go into them. Because when people are excited about AI, they jump right into it. But you have to look into all the elements. Because when you build in the cloud, for example, and you start small and you go bigger, you get locked in. Because you use all these third-party services and the cloud services itself. And once there's the time that you have to, or you want to do it somewhere else, you cannot just get out. You're locked in. So before you start your AI journey, you have to think about when is the time for what I'm going to use the cloud, and when is the time to use something else, or maybe you have to start with something else at once. And what are you going to do when you use a lot of GPU power, and GPUs can get expensive very fast in the cloud, and your cloud provider is going to change the price, and you're locked in. You cannot just go away. So what does that mean for your company? Can you survive that? And every company has its own data that can generate specific value for themselves. But your cloud provider has its sets of products, and that's it. But what if that special data you have will make the difference for you, but you cannot do that in the cloud because there is no option for that. And you also have to think like what happens when you don't have the cloud connection. Can you still work offline? Is it necessary to work offline? And how about latency? So these are all elements that we can talk maybe 2 hours, but we don't have the time for it now. Important to think about before you start doing it. And what you have to realize is that the cloud is not a magical thing in the sky. The cloud is literally someone else's computer. So if you have a lot of sensitive data, you also have to look into the security element of that. And a lot of people don't know, but 82% of all breaches in the cloud happened in the cloud. And that doesn't mean that cloud providers are not safe. They are doing everything to give that protection, but it still happens. So you have to be conscious about when you put sensitive data in the cloud that there is a risk that it might become public. So it's okay, but you need to be conscious about that. And when you use, for example, generative AI tools that operate in the cloud, because there are nowadays a lot of them, how is their security? What do they do with your data? Do they save it temporarily? Do they save it indefinitely? Or do they even train their models with your data to make it better? So if they do that, how is that giving you a competitive advantage? Are you not helping them to make their product better? And then they sell it to also your competitors. That's also important things to think about when you use large language model or solutions in that. What happens really with your data? Where is your advantage? So a lot of CIOs are aware of this, and 83% of them are planning to take their workloads and back to their on-premises for security reasons, obviously, but also for cost reasons. And you have to know that large language models, to operate them, you have to feed them with specific company data that might be sensitive, because then you get the value out of it. And you cannot control people what they are going to put in this large language model. So that's why they try to keep it in-house behind their own firewalls to keep it safe. So what is the solution? The solution is hybrid. So you use a workstation, your private servers, and the cloud. So this is an example that you can train your AI models on a workstation. It gives you not infinite, but a lot of power that is all the time available. And you can use your private servers to save your private data, to keep it safe. And you can use the cloud to scale, for example. And every use case, you can have different variations. But in this way, you can look to what you're doing, where your company is going, what your data is. Is it sensitive data? Is it non-sensitive data? And you can choose where to do what. And the key is that's keeping what's critical behind your own firewalls in your own house, so you have the data, the insights, and the advantages you create with AI just for you. So owning your AI means that you have full control of security. Because imagine that there is a house with a safe, right? That house is not yours, but you have the safe, you can put your data in it. The thing is, you have to hope that the house owner is keeping your safe safe, but you don't have the keys to the house, so you cannot check it. In a hybrid setting, you also minimize risk, because you're consciously thinking about, okay, sensitive data, security, cost, and you are dividing what you're doing in the cloud, on your private servers, or on a workstation. And when you have this special need that you have data that you can build an AI model specifically for you to get a competitive advantage, you can just do it. In my opinion, I do believe that open source large language models are going to play a much bigger role than it's already now. Because you have to imagine with a closed source, like ChatGPT, for example, you have that for business and they keep your data safe, right? We cannot check it. We have to believe it. So we believe that it's safe. But in the end, your data goes through an API to their servers, to their computers. And that's also a risk somewhere. So I'm not saying don't use ChatGPT because I use it too. It's a great product. But you have to be conscious about it. That's all I'm saying. So Daily Floor is one of the biggest flower companies in the world, and they do DNA sequencing. I went once visiting them, and the white flower on there, they said like, there is some kind of bug that comes eat that flower, and if you make that flower less sweet, the bug doesn't come. Only the problem is, the sweeter the flower, the more beautiful the flower is. So they need to look into the DNA, and they need to mark some elements in that and find out how they can make that flower beautiful without attracting the bugs. And that asks a lot of computing power. They were doing that on their own servers. They were CPU-based, and I gave them a workstation with GPUs. So that meant for them that they were at least 6 times faster. It meant for them that they could fulfill their projects faster, do more projects. They went so fast, because it's 6 times faster, they ran out of projects, so they started looking for new projects. And they could save their IP data in their house safely, because they were using their CPU servers, they did not have the power to do the analytics themselves, so they hired a third party to do some analytics. With the workstation, they could just do it in-house. Another startup that we help with the workstations is Medical VR. They have a great solution. They built 3D models of lungs of patients for surgeons, so they can save lung tissue during operations. And you know that a lung is moving, so it's very complex. So now surgeons can see exactly how the lung is operating and take minimum of lung tissue out of it to have a more efficient operation and a patient with more lung tissue. So they built their model on our workstation Z8, and the hospital has a Z2, a smaller, for AI inferencing, because that doesn't need that much power to run the AI model. And the advantage is also that it directly fits in the IT systems of the hospitals. So at HP, we built workstations, hardware, but we also built software. We have different kinds of software. So, for example, the data science tech manager, when a data scientist works on a project, he needs to choose which software he's going to use. He needs to download it, he needs to install it, he needs to integrate it. That takes time, sometimes a couple of hours, sometimes longer. The annoying thing is, when one of those software needs an update, you lose the integration, and you need to do all these things again. With the Data Science Tech Manager, you just click the software you need, it downloads, installs, integrates, and updates without losing integration. We don't have much time, so I'm not going to all of them. And if you are interested to know what we do on software, I have colleagues at our HP stand. I will be also there for the next hour. Come speak to us. We can tell you about it. So to finish off, I will say, just start small. Just look into your business. Which project can you do that will have the fastest ROI? And go from there. Once you have that, go bigger. And also, like, focus on innovation, because customers want new products and services in new ways. AI can help you find those new services or products. And don't forget about your people in your company, because it's really important that they are on board, that they see the benefit of AI for their professions and for themselves, so they jump on the boat and help your company become bigger and, save the future for the next generations. So thank you for your time. It was a pleasure. And if you have questions.
Thank you very much, Cihangir. We have time for just one question, which I have, and that is, what is the tipping point? So you have a startup. You're not going to have a whole server farm running these HP tools, right? But once you get to a level where you're starting to integrate with other AI models or a large user base, you're starting to build a bit of momentum. What is the point at which it makes sense to move to a hybrid model where you have these HP servers that are running various versions of a model for you?
Yeah, that might be different for every startup, but what I always speak with them, the advantage of starting in the cloud is that they have pre-trained models. So they can directly start. It's easy, it's comfortable. But there is a point when the costs are getting so high that other solutions are cheaper for them. And they have to be mindful about this when that tipping point for them is. So that's why I'm saying it's for every company different, but they have to think about it themselves. And it's a base of calculation, like, cloud costs this much, and when it reaches this point, it is actually cheaper to go to private servers and workstations. That's how you go about it.
It completely depends on the organization.
Yeah, usually with AI, it always depends on what are you building. Like, do you need a lot of GPUs, or can you do it on a CPU?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like custom all the time.
Cihangir, Kocak, thank you.
Thank you.